A Nobel for seeing the unseeable. Zewail's historic prize. Dr. Ahmed Zewail received the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1999. He won it solo, highlighting his work's immense significance. His discoveries fundamentally changed chemistry. He provided a new way to observe molecules. Before Dr. Zewail, chemical reactions were mysterious. Scientists knew the inputs and outputs, but not the process. Zewail filled in those missing frames, allowing us to see the action unfold. He studied events in femtoseconds, a millionth of a billionth of a second. Light travels only a tiny distance in 1 femtosecond. This is the speed at which chemical bonds live and die. Capturing this required true genius. His work was not just about speed, but deep understanding. By watching these ultra-fast events, science advanced. Chemists could directly test their theories and see how reactions truly happened. Dr. Zewail gave us femtovision, a new lens on the universe. He beautifully connected physics and chemistry. His work was a dream come true for all chemists. So what exactly is this femtochemistry? It is the science of very, very fast chemistry. It studies reactions on the femtosecond scale. Think of it like an ultra-slow motion camera for atoms and molecules. We can watch them move during reactions, see bonds form and break. This was impossible before Zewail's breakthroughs. Why is this femtosecond timescale so critical? Chemical bonds make and break this quickly. The basic steps of any reaction occur this fast. If you want to understand how A becomes B, you must see it. Femtochemistry provides this essential insight. Without it, the heart of chemical change remains hidden. Before femtochemistry, reactions were a black box. Chemists knew the starting and end points, but not the journey. Many theories existed, but direct visual proof was missing. Femtochemistry illuminated this dark pathway. It allowed scientists to map atomic journeys. The birth of femtochemistry was a true revolution. It completely changed our view of chemical dynamics. Reactions became dynamic, observable events. This new field promised more control over chemistry. We could understand the dance of molecules. This understanding leads to precise manipulation. How did Dr. Zewail achieve these amazing feats? He used incredibly fast lasers. These lasers act like a super-speed strobe light, emitting pulses of light lasting mere femtoseconds. This technology is the core of his femtosecond camera. One laser pulse starts the chemical reaction called the pump pulse. It excites the molecules, giving them energy. A second laser pulse quickly follows, called the probe pulse. It is fired at very precise, tiny time delays measured in femtoseconds. The probe pulse takes snapshots of the reaction, capturing molecules at different stages. By varying the delay, a movie is made showing the atoms in motion. A famous example is his study of sodium iodide, NaI, a simple salt. Zewail used his lasers to watch its bond break. The pump pulse hit the NaI molecule, giving it energy to start breaking apart. The probe pulse then tracked the atoms, showing the sodium, Na, and iodine, I atoms separate. The bonds stretched, then snapped in real time. These experiments provided direct, clear evidence of how molecules truly behave. They revealed atoms vibrating within molecules and pinpointed the exact moment a bond breaks. The precision of these measurements was stunning. Zewail could measure the speed of separating atoms. This was not just seeing, it was measuring. His lab became a portal to the quantum dance. His work provided a new understanding of molecular behavior. It was a groundbreaking achievement in the field of chemistry. Zewail's laser experiments opened new doors for scientific exploration. Capturing the transition state revealed. One of femtochemistry's greatest triumphs was the direct observation of the transition state. In a reaction, molecules do not change instantly. They pass through a special, high-energy form. This is the transition state, a very brief, unstable moment. It is the point of no return for reactants, existing for mere femtoseconds. Before Zewail, its existence was only a theory. Chemists knew it should be there, but no one had ever directly seen it. It was like a ghost in the chemical world. Finding and studying it was a huge goal. This state controls how fast reactions go. Dr. Zewail's femtosecond lasers changed everything. His ultra-fast snapshots could catch molecules in this state. He could see atoms in this critical arrangement. For the sodium iodide reaction, he saw it clearly. The Na bond stretched to its absolute limit just before it finally broke apart. That stretched state was the transition state. It was a major victory for science. Understanding the transition state is very important. Its energy level dictates the reaction speed. Its specific structure shows how atoms rearrange. This knowledge is key to controlling chemical reactions. If we understand this state, we can influence it. We can design catalysts to lower its energy, making reactions faster and more efficient. Zewail gave us tools to explore this vital point. A new chemical universe. The legacy of femtochemistry. Dr. Zewail's work had far-reaching effects. His techniques did more than explain a few reactions. They offered a completely new way to study molecules. The impact of femtochemistry spread rapidly, becoming a vital tool in many chemical fields. Physical, organic, and biochemists all benefited. Seeing reactions in real time transformed research. New questions could be asked and answered. Consider its power in materials science. Scientists can now watch how new materials form at the atomic level. They can track electrons in semiconductors, helping build better solar cells and faster electronic devices. The possibilities continue to expand. Understanding dynamics leads to better design. Biology also gains hugely from femtochemistry. It helps us understand complex life processes. Photosynthesis is a key example. Femtosecond spectroscopy tracks the first, fastest steps, revealing the secrets of nature's efficiency. Similar methods study vision or DNA repair. The fundamental mechanisms of life are unveiled. In summary, Dr. Ahmed Zewail's Nobel was well-deserved. He gave science eyes to see atoms in action. His creation of femtochemistry was revolutionary, opening entirely new areas of scientific study. His legacy is the ongoing exploration he inspired. Hey everyone! Today I'm diving into how one man changed the world of chemistry forever. Yeah, you guessed it, Dr. Ahmed Zewail. Back in 1991, Dr. Zewail, working at Caltech, published a game-changing paper titled Femtosecond Transition State Dynamics. But what does that even mean? Let me break it down for you. Imagine seeing the exact moment when chemical bonds are breaking and forming during a reaction. Sounds wild, right? Well, thanks to Zewail and his team, that became a reality. Using ultra-short laser pulses measured in femtoseconds, that's a millionth of a billionth of a second, they captured what was once invisible, the transition state. This is the pivotal moment in a chemical reaction when old bonds break and new ones form. It's incredibly quick, but it dictates the whole reaction's outcome. Picture a molecule caught in the act, transitioning from reactants to products. Zewail's work didn't just give us a snapshot, it offered a full-motion picture of this process. He and his team tracked wave packets of nuclear motion as they evolved, resonated, and passed through energy barriers. They revealed differences between bound states, saddle points, and reaction paths, comparing these to theoretical models with unprecedented precision. In short, they brought the mechanism of chemical change into sharp focus. Fast forward to 1999, this groundbreaking work earned Zewail the Nobel Prize in Chemistry. He didn't just study chemical reactions, he slowed time for us to watch atoms in motion, revolutionizing our understanding of chemistry. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Nobel-winning science, hit that like button and subscribe for more. This has been your Science Gateway, where discoveries come to life, one femtosecond at a time. Femtochemistry is a truly fascinating branch of science. It allows us to watch chemical reactions as they happen. These timescales are measured in femtoseconds. A femtosecond is a millionth of a billionth of a second. Imagine light traveling. It only moves 0.3 micrometers in 1 femtosecond. Chemical bonds break and form on this very rapid scale. Before femtochemistry, chemistry was different. Scientists knew what reactants they started with and what products were formed at the end. However, the actual process remained a mystery. Femtochemistry changed all of that for us. It opened a window into the during of chemical change. The birth of femtochemistry was a revolution. It needed new tools, particularly powerful lasers. These lasers can produce pulses of light that are extremely short. These laser pulses act like an incredibly fast camera flash. They illuminate the fleeting moments of a reaction. This technology was key to observing molecular dynamics. The significance of femtochemistry is immense. It lets us understand the fundamental steps involved. This has implications for medicine, materials, and industry. Professor Ahmed Zewail had a remarkable ambition. He wanted to see chemical reactions in real time. Specifically, he aimed to observe the transition states. Transition states are highly unstable arrangements of atoms. They exist for only a fleeting moment during a reaction. They represent the peak of the energy barrier. Molecules are neither reactants nor products at this point. Capturing this was Zewail's grand scientific challenge. Observing bimolecular reactions was a key goal. These reactions involve two separate molecules colliding. They must meet for the reaction to occur. These types of reactions are fundamental in chemistry. They are also vital in many biological processes. Think of enzymes working or signals in our cells. Seeing these encounters was a major step forward. The difficulty of this task was enormous. Molecules move at incredibly high speeds. Their interactions during a collision are extremely brief. To capture these events was a monumental undertaking. It required pushing the limits of what was possible. Yet, this vision led to a Nobel Prize. Zewail's initial femtochemistry studies were carefully chosen. He began by looking at simpler systems. Unimolecular reactions were the first focus. These involve a single molecule breaking apart or changing shape. A classic example is the dissociation of iodine cyanide, or ICN. This molecule, when excited by light, breaks its Ci bond. Observing this simple breakup was a crucial first step. It showed that the femtosecond approach was viable. These early experiments provided vital proof of concept. They demonstrated that femtosecond lasers could indeed track motion. The movement of atoms within a molecule could be followed. In the ICN experiment, they watched the bond stretch. Then they saw it break, and the fragments fly apart. This was done by taking snapshots at femtosecond intervals. It was like a high-speed film of the molecular event. This success was a watershed moment for the field. The achievements with simple reactions built great confidence. They also allowed the team to refine their complex techniques. Each successful experiment provided new insights and data. The goal of observing bimolecular reactions drew closer. The leap from unimolecular to bimolecular reactions was significant. The core experimental technique is called pump probe spectroscopy. It is an ingenious method for capturing ultra-fast events. It uses two very short laser pulses. The first pulse is the pump pulse. This pulse initiates the chemical reaction. It excites the molecules, starting the process of change. Think of it as the starting gun for the molecular race. A second laser pulse, known as the probe, follows. This probe pulse arrives after a very short, controlled delay. The delay can be varied with incredible precision. The probe pulse then examines the state of the reacting molecules. It can detect the formation of new species, or it can see changes in the original molecules. It essentially takes a snapshot of the reaction at that instant. Molecular beams were another crucial element in these experiments. These beams create streams of isolated molecules. The molecules travel in a vacuum chamber. This isolation is important for several reasons. It prevents unwanted collisions with other molecules, like air. It also allows scientists to control the molecule's initial conditions. This simplifies the system, making it easier to study. Section 5. Witnessing the dance phases of bimolecular reactions observed. Professor Zewail's research group achieved a major breakthrough. They successfully observed bimolecular reactions in real time. A key example was the reaction between a hydrogen atom and carbon dioxide. This reaction forms hydroxyl radical and carbon monoxide. Using their femtosecond techniques, they could watch it unfold. They could see the hydrogen atom approach the carbon dioxide molecule. This was a direct observation of molecules meeting to react. It was a pivotal moment in chemical dynamics. The experiments allowed them to identify distinct phases. First, there was the approach of the two reactant molecules. The hydrogen atom and the carbon dioxide molecule drew closer. Then, a critical stage occurred, the formation of a transition state. In this reaction, it's a short-lived complex called HOCO. This HOCO intermediate exists for only a tiny fraction of a second. Finally, they observed the separation of the products. The newly formed hydroxyl radical and carbon monoxide molecules moved apart. These groundbreaking experiments provided real-time evidence. They confirmed theoretical concepts that chemists had developed. Zewail's work made the transition state a tangible entity. Section 6. Controlling chemistry's choreography. The significance of real-time observation. Understanding reaction mechanisms at this fundamental level is profound. It takes us far beyond simply mixing chemicals. We are not just observing what reacts to form what product. Instead, we can now see precisely it happens. We can visualize the journey from reactants to products. This involves seeing the atoms move and rearrange. It's like having a detailed map of the reaction pathway. This detailed map is incredibly valuable to scientists. This detailed knowledge is the absolute key to controlling chemical reactions. If we understand each step of the journey, we can influence it. Imagine a complex dance with many possible moves. If we know the choreography, we can guide the dancers. Similarly, we could design reactions to be more efficient. We could aim to produce only the desired products. This would reduce waste and save energy. The possibilities for smarter chemistry are enormous. The implications of this work spread across many scientific fields. In material science, it could lead to designing new materials. We could create materials with specific tailored properties. In biology, femtochemistry helps us understand vital life processes. Enzyme catalysis, how proteins speed up reactions, can be studied. Section 7. A Guiding Light. Dick Bernstein's influence on Zewail's journey. Professor Richard Dick Bernstein was a true pioneer. He made enormous contributions to the field of reaction dynamics. His work laid much of the essential conceptual groundwork. Ahmed Zewail was deeply influenced by Bernstein's ideas. Bernstein was a mentor and a source of great inspiration for him. Their connection highlights the lineage of scientific thought. Great ideas often build upon previous foundational work. Bernstein's legacy was clearly visible in Zewail's achievements. Bernstein consistently emphasized the importance of studying elementary reactions. He believed in breaking down complex processes. He wanted to understand the simplest, most fundamental steps. He was a strong champion of innovative experimental techniques. Molecular beam scattering was one such technique he advanced. This method allows detailed study of single collision events. These ideas were absolutely central to Zewail's later success. Zewail took these concepts into the femtosecond domain. Ahmed Zewail often spoke of Bernstein's influence. He acknowledged the mentorship and profound inspiration he received. Bernstein possessed a clear vision for understanding chemical reactivity. He wanted to probe it at its most fundamental molecular level. This vision resonated deeply with Zewail's own scientific curiosity. Section 8. Science as a Human Endeavor, Collaboration and Discovery. Professor Zewail's groundbreaking work was an immense achievement. While he was the visionary leader, it involved a dedicated team. Scientific breakthroughs of this magnitude are rarely solitary efforts. They almost always require extensive collaboration. A diverse range of expertise is usually needed. Zewail's research group at Caltech was a hub of talent. Students and postdoctoral researchers played crucial roles. Their hard work and intellect contributed to the success. The development of femtochemistry was truly interdisciplinary. It brought together scientists from different fields. Physicists with expertise in lasers and optics were essential. Chemists provided the understanding of molecular behavior. Engineers helped to design and build the complex apparatus. Each group brought vital skills and unique perspectives. This fusion of knowledge was critical for overcoming challenges. Such interdisciplinary collaboration is a hallmark of modern science. The Nobel Prize in Chemistry awarded to Ahmed Zewail in 1999 was historic. It rightly recognized his pioneering contributions, but it also celebrated the birth of an entire new field of science. Femtochemistry had opened up a new frontier of research. The prize highlighted the power of human curiosity. Section 9. A Legacy in Ultrafast Time, Zewail's Enduring Impact. Ahmed Zewail's contributions truly revolutionized the field of chemistry. He provided humanity with the tools to watch molecules in action. We can now see bonds breaking and forming. This has fundamentally altered how we view chemical reactions. It is like being given a new sense to perceive the world. Before Zewail, these processes were hidden from direct view. Now we can study their intricate details directly. His work transformed a conceptual understanding into visual reality. The field of femtochemistry, which he established, continues to flourish. It is a vibrant and active area of research globally. Scientists are now studying even more complex systems. They are investigating biological molecules and material processes. Researchers are constantly pushing the boundaries of what is possible. They are developing even shorter laser pulses. They are inventing more sensitive detection techniques. The journey into the ultra-fast world is far from over. Professor Zewail's work has inspired countless individuals. A whole generation of young scientists has been motivated by his story. His journey from Egypt to the Nobel Prize is remarkable. It demonstrates that with vision, passion, and perseverance, great things are possible. Even the most challenging scientific questions can be addressed. Femtochemistry is a truly remarkable field. It allows us to watch chemical reactions. These reactions happen incredibly fast, faster than we can easily imagine. A femtosecond is a millionth of a billionth of a second. Think of it as a camera with an ultra-fast shutter speed. This camera captures molecules in motion. Dr. Ahmed Zewail pioneered this science. He developed groundbreaking methods using short pulses of laser light. These laser pulses act like a strobe, illuminating molecules as they transform. Before Zewail, we mostly saw the start and end of reactions. He showed us the crucial moments in between. This was a new window onto the molecular world. Early achievements in femtochemistry were astonishing. Scientists first looked at simple molecular processes. They studied unimolecular reactions like a single molecule changing or breaking apart. For example, they observed iodine cyanide's bonds stretch and snap. This provided direct visual proof of chemical theories. The significance of this initial work was immense. It fundamentally changed how chemists understood reactions. It was like gaining a new sense to perceive the universe, a sense that could perceive molecular time. This laid the vital groundwork for future explorations. The molecular dance was just beginning to be unveiled. After understanding single molecules, a new challenge emerged. This was the world of bimolecular reactions. These reactions involve two different molecules. They must meet, collide, and then interact. Think of it like two partners finding each other on a crowded dance floor. Most chemical reactions in our world are like this. They are the true engines of chemical change. Observing these bimolecular reactions is incredibly difficult. It is much harder than watching a single molecule. You need two specific types of molecules to collide at precisely the right time and place. And you need to be ready to watch what unfolds. It's a challenge of extreme precision and control. The timing must be perfect, down to femtoseconds. Understanding bimolecular reactions is profoundly important. These reactions are fundamental to almost everything. They explain how medicines work in our bodies. They show how catalysts can speed up industrial processes. They are even at the heart of life's chemistry. If we can see these reactions happening, we can learn to control them with greater skill. This control is key to innovation and discovery. Moving to bimolecular reactions was a giant leap. It was Dr. Zewail's ambitious next goal. The universe's chemical secrets were waiting to be told. To see these bimolecular reactions, Zewail used clever methods. The core idea is called the pump-probe technique. It involves two distinct laser pulses. The first pulse is the pump, starting the chemical reaction. The second pulse is the probe, arriving a tiny moment later to take a snapshot. This snapshot captures the molecules in mid-reaction. The lasers used are special femtosecond lasers. They produce flashes of light that are incredibly short. These pulses last only for femtoseconds. Without these ultra-fast lasers, all we'd see is a blur. For bimolecular reactions, the setup was more complex. Zewail's team used molecular beams, two very fine jets of molecules. These beams were made to cross paths inside a high vacuum chamber. This controlled collision point was where the lasers focused. Precision was absolutely essential for success. After the probe laser pulse, scientists detected the results. They looked for the products of the reaction or any fleeting intermediate molecules. Techniques like mass spectrometry helped identify them. By changing the delay between pump and probe pulses, a story unfolded. They could build up a sequence of images. This created a stop-motion movie of the reaction. Frame by femtosecond frame, the dance was revealed. The molecular dance was just beginning to be unveiled. This incredible scientific journey was not undertaken alone. Professor Richard Dick Bernstein played a crucial role. He was a highly respected chemical physicist. Bernstein was a true pioneer in his own right. He specialized in molecular beams and reaction dynamics. His vast experience was invaluable to Zewail. He brought deep insights to the challenging project. His collaboration was a cornerstone of their success. Bernstein had a significant influence on this research. He recognized the immense importance of seeing bimolecular reactions. He actively encouraged Zewail to pursue this difficult goal. Bernstein helped to shape the experimental plans. His intellectual guidance was a guiding light. He believed deeply in the project's potential. This belief provided strong motivation for the team. The partnership between Zewail and Bernstein was powerful. It showed the true collaborative spirit of science. Great discoveries often arise from such teamwork. Zewail's expertise in femtosecond lasers was one part, Bernstein's mastery of molecular beams was the other. Together, their skills created a perfect synergy. They shared a deep passion for understanding chemistry. They wanted to uncover its most fundamental truths. Section 5. Freeze-frame chemistry witnessing bimolecular encounters. Imagine the sheer excitement in Dr. Zewail's laboratory. The moment they first saw it happen, two different molecules meeting, reacting in real time. This was something no human had ever witnessed directly. It was a profound moment of pure scientific discovery. Decades of theoretical predictions were now visible. New pathways for scientific inquiry suddenly opened up. One of the early systems they studied was a reaction involving a hydrogen atom and a carbon dioxide molecule. Or consider simpler reactions, like a sodium atom reacting with iodine chloride. They could literally track the approach of these reactants. They watched as the molecules drew closer to each other. The femtosecond lasers froze these moments in time. Each pulse gave a glimpse of this molecular drama. They detected the formation of transient species. These are very short-lived molecular arrangements. They exist only for a fleeting moment during the reaction. Scientists could measure exactly how long these intermediates lasted. They watched them form and then transform into final products. This was an unprecedented level of detail. The precision of these measurements was remarkable. They could observe the collision complex. This is the brief, unstable structure formed when reactants meet. They were truly mapping the journey of a reaction. Section 6. Unveiling the unseen steps in a chemical tango. A key concept in reactions is the transition state. This is a high-energy, unstable arrangement of atoms. It's like the very peak of a mountain on a journey. Femtochemistry allowed scientists to directly probe this state. It was no longer just a theoretical idea. They could observe molecules passing through it. This was like seeing the reaction's point of no return. Zewail's techniques revealed bond breaking and bond forming. Consider a general reaction. A plus BC gives AB plus C. Molecule A approaches molecule BC. They could see the bond between B and C begin to stretch. At the same time, a new bond between A and B started to form. They could measure the precise timing of these events. This provided incredible step-by-step detail. It was like watching the reaction mechanism in slow motion. The experiments also shed light on molecular orientation. Sometimes for a reaction to happen, molecules must align correctly. They need to approach each other in a specific way. Think of two puzzle pieces fitting together. If they don't align, they just bounce off each other. Femtochemistry provided insights into these steric factors. The molecular dance has very specific choreography. Section 7. Beyond the beaker, femtochemistry's wide-reaching impact. Femtochemistry has had a massive impact on fundamental chemistry. It provided solid experimental proof for many theories. These theories were about chemical kinetics and reaction dynamics. It transformed these areas of study. They moved from being mostly theoretical. Now they were firmly grounded in experimental observation. Age-old questions about how reactions truly occur were answered. We could finally see the how of chemical change. The discoveries have vital applications in materials science. Understanding molecular interactions at high speed is crucial. It helps us design entirely new materials. This includes better catalysts to speed up reactions. Catalysts are essential for many industrial processes. It also aids in creating new electronic or photonic materials. Controlling reactions at the femtosecond level opens new possibilities. This research is also incredibly relevant to biology and medicine. Many vital biological processes involve ultra-fast molecular events. Think of photosynthesis in plants, converting light to energy, or the first steps of vision in our eyes. Femtochemistry provides the tools to study these processes. Understanding how drug molecules interact with targets is key. This fundamental knowledge can help in designing better medicines. It allows us to see life's machinery at its finest scale. Section 8. The human element. Science as a shared quest. Dr. Zewail's achievements highlight a vital truth about science. Groundbreaking work is rarely a solo performance. The journey to observe bimolecular reactions was a team effort. It involved dedicated students and postdoctoral researchers, and of course, key collaborators like Dick Bernstein. Science truly thrives on shared ideas and combined expertise. It's a collective pursuit of knowledge. This human element is central to discovery. What drives scientists like Zewail and his colleagues? It is a profound sense of curiosity, a deep desire to understand the universe, to explore its workings at the most fundamental level. They were driven by questions about the hidden molecular world. How do atoms and molecules actually behave? This passion fuels the long hours and hard work. It is the engine of scientific progress. Scientific breakthroughs seldom arrive easily or quickly. The path is often filled with immense challenges. There are countless experiments that might not work. There are setbacks, doubts, and frustrations. The journey to develop femtochemistry was no different. It required immense perseverance and dedication. The ability to keep going despite difficulties is crucial. This resilience is a hallmark of great scientists. Section 9. A Legacy in Femtoseconds, Zewail's Enduring Influence. For his monumental work, Ahmed Zewail received the highest honor. He was awarded the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1999. The citation read, for his studies of the transition states of chemical reactions using femtosecond spectroscopy. This prestigious award recognized the profound global impact. His research had opened up an entirely new field. He gave us the tools to watch chemistry happen. It was a revolution in our understanding of change. The field of femtochemistry did not stop there. It continues to evolve and expand even today. Scientists are constantly pushing the boundaries further. They are developing even more sophisticated techniques. They apply these methods to study increasingly complex systems. Dr. Zewail's pioneering work laid a solid foundation. Future generations of researchers build upon his legacy. The exploration of the femto world is ongoing. Ahmed Zewail's story provided broader inspiration too. He was a scientist from Egypt who reached the pinnacle. He became an inspiring role model for many people, especially for aspiring scientists in the Middle East and beyond. He demonstrated what can be achieved with brilliance and dedication. His journey transcended the boundaries of science. He became a symbol of hope and human potential. His contributions extended far beyond the laboratory. Ultimately, Zewail's work has left a lasting legacy. The dawn of femtochemistry, peeking into molecular time. Femtochemistry is a truly remarkable field. It allows us to watch chemical reactions. These reactions happen incredibly fast, faster than we can easily imagine. A femtosecond is a millionth of a billionth of a second. Think of it as a camera with an ultra-fast shutter speed. This camera captures molecules in motion. It reveals the secrets of chemical change. Dr. Ahmed Zewail was the pioneer of this science. He developed groundbreaking new methods. These methods used extremely short pulses of laser light. These laser pulses act like a strobe. They illuminate the molecules as they transform. Before Zewail, we mostly saw the start and end of reactions. He showed us the crucial moments in between. This was a new window onto the molecular world. Early achievements in femtochemistry were astonishing. Scientists first looked at simple molecular processes. They studied unimolecular reactions. This means a single molecule changing or breaking apart. Imagine watching one dancer perform a swift move. For example, they observed the molecule iodine cyanide. They saw its bonds stretch and then snap. This provided direct visual proof of chemical theories. The next frontier. Why bimolecular reactions mattered. After understanding single molecules, a new challenge emerged. This was the world of bimolecular reactions. These reactions involve two different molecules. They must meet, collide, and then interact. Think of it like two partners finding each other. They meet on a vast and crowded cosmic dance floor. Most chemical reactions in our world are like this. They are the true engines of chemical change. Observing these bimolecular reactions is incredibly difficult. It is much harder than watching a single molecule. You need two specific types of molecules to collide. This must happen at precisely the right time and place. And you need to be ready to watch what unfolds. It's a challenge of extreme precision and control. The timing must be perfect, down to femtoseconds. It's a microscopic ballet needing perfect choreography. Understanding bimolecular reactions is profoundly important. These reactions are fundamental to almost everything. They explain how medicines work in our bodies. They show how catalysts can speed up industrial processes. They are even at the heart of life's chemistry. If we can see these reactions happening, we can learn. We can learn to control them with greater skill. This control is key to innovation and discovery. Capturing the dance Zewail's ingenious techniques. To see these bimolecular reactions, Zewail used clever methods. The core idea is called the pump probe technique. It involves two distinct laser pulses. The first pulse is the pump. It starts the chemical reaction, giving it energy. The second pulse is the probe. It arrives a tiny moment later to take a snapshot. This snapshot captures the molecules in mid-reaction. The lasers used are special femtosecond lasers. They produce flashes of light that are incredibly short. These pulses last only for femtoseconds. This is the timescale of atoms moving. It's when chemical bonds break and new ones form. Without these ultra-fast lasers, all we'd see is a blur. The molecules would move too fast to capture. These lasers are the key to slowing down time. For bimolecular reactions, the setup was more complex. Zewail's team used what are called molecular beams. Imagine two very fine jets of molecules. These beams were made to cross paths. They intersected inside a high vacuum chamber. This controlled collision point was where the lasers focused. The vacuum prevented unwanted interference from air. A guiding light. The indispensable Dick Bernstein. This incredible scientific journey was not undertaken alone. Professor Richard Dick Bernstein played a crucial role. He was a highly respected chemical physicist. Bernstein was a true pioneer in his own right. He specialized in molecular beams and reaction dynamics. His vast experience was invaluable to Zewail. He brought deep insights to the challenging project. His collaboration was a cornerstone of their success. Bernstein had a significant influence on this research. He recognized the immense importance of seeing bimolecular reactions. He actively encouraged Zewail to pursue this difficult goal. Bernstein helped to shape the experimental plans. His intellectual guidance was a guiding light. He believed deeply in the project's potential. This belief provided strong motivation for the team. He knew they were on the verge of something huge. The partnership between Zewail and Bernstein was powerful. It showed the true collaborative spirit of science. Great discoveries often arise from such teamwork. Zewail's expertise in femtosecond lasers was one part. Bernstein's mastery of molecular beams was the other. Together, their skills created a perfect synergy. They shared a deep passion for understanding chemistry. Section 5. Freeze-frame chemistry, witnessing bimolecular encounters. Imagine the sheer excitement in Dr. Zewail's laboratory. The moment they first saw it happen, two different molecules meeting, reacting in real time. This was something no human had ever witnessed directly. It was a profound moment of pure scientific discovery. It felt like seeing a new color for the first time. Decades of theoretical predictions were now visible. New pathways for scientific inquiry suddenly opened up. One of the early systems they studied was a reaction. It involved a hydrogen atom and a carbon dioxide molecule. Or consider simpler reactions like an alkali metal with a halogen compound. For instance, a sodium atom reacting with iodine chloride. They could literally track the approach of these reactants. They watched as the molecules drew closer to each other. The femtosecond lasers froze these moments in time. Each pulse gave a glimpse of this molecular drama. What could they actually see in these experiments? They weren't observing atoms as tiny, distinct balls. Instead, they detected the formation of transient species. These are very short-lived molecular arrangements. They exist only for a fleeting moment during the reaction. Scientists could measure exactly how long these intermediates lasted. They watched them form and then transform into final products. This was an unprecedented level of detail. Section 6. Unveiling the unseen steps in a chemical tango. A key concept in reactions is the transition state. This is a high-energy, unstable arrangement of atoms. It's like the very peak of a mountain on a journey, or a gymnast poised at the apex of a leap. Femtochemistry allowed scientists to directly probe this state. It was no longer just a theoretical idea. They could observe molecules passing through it. This was like seeing the reaction's point of no return. Zewail's techniques revealed bond breaking and bond forming. Consider a general reaction. A plus BC gives AB plus C. Molecule A approaches molecule BC. They could see the bond between B and C begin to stretch. At the same time, a new bond between A and B started to form. They could measure the precise timing of these events. This provided incredible step-by-step detail. It was like watching the reaction mechanism in slow motion. The experiments also shed light on molecular orientation. Sometimes, for a reaction to happen, molecules must align correctly. They need to approach each other in a specific way. Think of two puzzle pieces fitting together. If they don't align, they just bounce off each other. Femtochemistry provided insights into these steric factors. It showed how the geometry of approach influences the outcome. Section 7. Beyond the beaker, femtochemistry's wide-reaching impact. Femtochemistry has had a massive impact on fundamental chemistry. It provided solid experimental proof for many theories. These theories were about chemical kinetics and reaction dynamics. It transformed these areas of study. They moved from being mostly theoretical to being firmly grounded in experimental observation. Age-old questions about how reactions truly occur were answered. we could finally see the how of chemical change. The discoveries have vital applications in material science. Understanding molecular interactions at high speed is crucial. It helps us design entirely new materials. This includes better catalysts to speed up reactions. Catalysts are essential for many industrial processes. It also aids in creating new electronic or photonic materials. Controlling reactions at the femtosecond level opens new possibilities. We can tailor materials with specific desired properties. This research is also incredibly relevant to biology and medicine. Many vital biological processes involve ultra-fast molecular events. Think of photosynthesis in plants, converting light to energy, or the first steps of vision in our eyes. Femtochemistry provides the tools to study these processes. Understanding how drug molecules interact with targets is key. Section 8. The Human Element: Science as a Shared Quest. Dr. Zewail's achievements highlight a vital truth about science. Groundbreaking work is rarely a solo performance. The journey to observe bimolecular reactions was a team effort. It involved dedicated students and postdoctoral researchers, and of course key collaborators like Dick Bernstein. Science truly thrives on shared ideas and combined expertise. It's a collective pursuit of knowledge. This human element is central to discovery. What drives scientists like Zewail and his colleagues? It is a profound sense of curiosity, a deep desire to understand the universe, to explore its workings at the most fundamental level. They were driven by questions about the hidden molecular world. How do atoms and molecules actually behave? This passion fuels the long hours and hard work. It is the engine of scientific progress. Scientific breakthroughs seldom arrive easily or quickly. The path is often filled with immense challenges. There are countless experiments that might not work. There are setbacks, doubts, and frustrations. The journey to develop femtochemistry was no different. It required immense perseverance and dedication. The ability to keep going despite difficulties is crucial. Section 9. A Legacy in Femtoseconds: Zewail's Enduring Influence. For his monumental work, Ahmed Zewail received the highest honor. He was awarded the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1999. The citation read, "For his studies of the transition states of chemical reactions using femtosecond spectroscopy." This prestigious award recognized the profound global impact. His research had opened up an entirely new field. He gave us the tools to watch chemistry happen. It was a revolution in our understanding of change. The field of femtochemistry did not stop there. It continues to evolve and expand even today. Scientists are constantly pushing the boundaries further. They are developing even more sophisticated techniques. They apply these methods to study increasingly complex systems. Dr. Zewail's pioneering work laid a solid foundation. Future generations of researchers build upon his legacy. The exploration of the femto world is ongoing. Ahmed Zewail's story provided broader inspiration too. He was a scientist from Egypt who reached the pinnacle. He became an inspiring role model for many people, especially for aspiring scientists in the Middle East and beyond. He demonstrated what can be achieved with brilliance and dedication. His journey transcended the boundaries of science. He became a symbol of hope and human potential. Imagine a world hidden from our eyes, a world where events unfold in millionths of a billionth of a second. This is the realm of femtochemistry. It's a timescale so short it's hard to wrap your head around. Think about this. There are more femtoseconds in 1 second than there are seconds in the entire age of the universe. We're talking about the blink of an atom, the very moment chemical bonds are born and broken. Before femtochemistry, these fundamental acts of creation and transformation were a complete mystery. Scientists knew the starting ingredients and the final products of a reaction, but the journey itself, that was a black box. Dr. Ahmed Zewail changed all that. He pioneered the techniques to observe chemical reactions as they happen, in real time. This wasn't just a small step, it was a giant leap for chemistry. Zewail allowed us to witness the intimate details of molecular interactions, the fleeting existence of transition states. Understanding reactions at this fundamental level opens doors to controlling them. If you can see how a reaction happens, you can start to think about how to guide it, how to make it more efficient, or how to create entirely new molecules and materials. This has implications for everything from medicine design to developing new energy sources. Long before the femtosecond revolution, chemists were already trying to peek into the rapid world of chemical reactions. They knew that many crucial chemical processes happened incredibly fast, far too quick for conventional observation methods. Early pioneers developed ingenious techniques to get closer to the action. Think of it as the early days of sports photography. They were trying to freeze the motion, but the athletes, the molecules, were just too fast. One of the significant advancements was flash photolysis, developed in the mid-20th century. This technique used a short, intense burst of light to initiate a reaction, and then another light source to probe what was happening. It allowed scientists to study reactions that occurred in microseconds, millionths of a second, and later, nanoseconds, billionths of a second. However, even a nanosecond is an eternity when it comes to the actual breaking and forming of chemical bonds. The core dance of the atoms remained shrouded. The limitations were clear. Chemists craved a faster shutter speed, a more precise stopwatch. At the heart of chemistry lies the interaction between molecules. When two distinct molecules collide and react, we call this a bimolecular reaction. These aren't just some obscure type of chemical event, they are the absolute bedrock of chemical transformations. Think about the air you breathe, oxygen reacting with substances in your body. Think about combustion, fuel reacting with oxygen. The vast majority of these processes and countless others that sustain life and drive technology involve molecules meeting, greeting, and deciding to change partners. Studying these bimolecular reactions is incredibly important because they are so fundamental. Understanding them means understanding the rules of engagement for molecules. How do they approach each other? What orientation is needed for a reaction to occur? How much energy is required to kickstart the process? Answering these questions allows chemists to predict and control chemical behavior. However, observing bimolecular reactions in real time presented a colossal challenge. The collision itself, the moment of truth where bonds are broken and new ones are formed, is fleeting. Ahmed Zewail's monumental contribution was the development of experimental techniques that finally allowed scientists to observe these ultra-fast chemical reactions in real time, with femtosecond resolution. He essentially invented the world's fastest camera for chemistry. This wasn't just an incremental improvement, it was a paradigm shift. It allowed chemists to move from inferring what happened during a reaction to directly watching the atoms move, bonds break, and new bonds form. The core of Zewail's technique is known as femtosecond pump probe spectroscopy. Imagine you want to photograph a hummingbird's wings. You need a very fast flash, the pump pulse, to set things in motion or to excite the system, and then a series of even faster flashes, the probe pulses, at precisely timed intervals to take snapshots. In femtochemistry, the pump is an ultra-short laser pulse that initiates the chemical reaction in a collection of molecules. Then, a second ultra-short probe laser pulse, delayed by a precisely controlled femtosecond timescale, is fired at the reacting molecules. The remarkable ability to witness chemical reactions on the femtosecond timescale didn't just appear out of thin air. It was built upon significant technical advancements, particularly in laser technology and molecular beam methods. The star of the show, undoubtedly, is the femtosecond laser. These aren't your everyday laser pointers. We're talking about lasers that can produce pulses of light lasting only a few femtoseconds. Generating such incredibly short and intense bursts of light is a feat of optical engineering, requiring sophisticated techniques like mode locking. Controlling these ultra-short laser pulses with exquisite precision is just as important as generating them. For the pump probe technique to work, the time delay between the pump pulse, which starts the reaction, and the probe pulse, which takes the snapshot, must be controlled with femtosecond accuracy. Section 6. A Mentor's Light. Professor Dick Bernstein's enduring influence. Scientific breakthroughs rarely happen in a vacuum. They are often the result of collaboration, mentorship, and the building upon a legacy of knowledge. In the story of femtochemistry and Ahmed Zewail's journey, Professor Richard Dick Bernstein played an incredibly significant role, not just as a collaborator but as a profound intellectual influence and a guiding mentor. Bernstein was a towering figure in the field of chemical dynamics, renowned for his pioneering work with molecular beams and his deep insights into the mechanics of chemical reactions. His enthusiasm for understanding the intimate details of molecular collisions was infectious and inspiring. The collaboration between Zewail and Bernstein, particularly during Zewail's early career at Caltech, was a fertile ground for the ideas that would eventually blossom into femtochemistry. Bernstein's expertise in molecular beam scattering provided a crucial experimental foundation, teaching the importance of controlling the conditions under which molecules meet. He championed the idea of studying reactions at the most fundamental state-to-state level. Section 7. Unveiling Molecular Secrets Discoveries Born from Femtoseconds. The advent of femtochemistry, spearheaded by Ahmed Zewail, wasn't just about developing a fancy new tool, it was about using that tool to unlock profound secrets about the molecular world. Once scientists could watch chemical reactions in real time, a cascade of discoveries followed, fundamentally changing our understanding of chemical dynamics. For instance, the dissociation of molecules like sodium iodide became a classic example. Femtosecond spectroscopy allowed researchers to observe the Na-I bonds stretching and breaking, and even see the atoms recoiling from each other, providing a direct view of this fundamental chemical act step by femtosecond step. Beyond simple bond breaking, femtochemistry provided unprecedented insights into the nature of transition states. These fleeting, high-energy configurations at the saddle point of a reaction's energy surface were for a long time purely theoretical constructs. Zewail's experiments made them tangible. Scientists could now measure the lifetime of these transition states, which often exist for only tens to hundreds of femtoseconds. They could even get glimpses of their structure by observing how they interact with the probe laser pulse. Section 8. The Human Connection Collaboration in the Pursuit of Knowledge. Science, at its core, is a deeply human endeavor. While we often celebrate individual geniuses, major breakthroughs like the development of femtochemistry are almost always built on a bedrock of collaboration, mentorship, and the collective pursuit of knowledge. The relationship between Ahmed Zewail and Dick Bernstein serves as a powerful example of this. Bernstein, the established expert in molecular beams and reaction dynamics, provided not only technical knowledge, but also intellectual inspiration and critical sounding board for Zewail's ambitious ideas. This synergy, blending experience with bold new approaches, is a recurring theme in scientific progress across all disciplines. The journey of scientific discovery is rarely a straight line. It's filled with challenges, setbacks, and moments of profound uncertainty. In such an environment, collaboration provides more than just a pooling of expertise. It offers mutual support, encouragement, and diverse perspectives that can help overcome obstacles. When one researcher hits a wall, another might see a way around it. Section 9. A Lasting Legacy. Femtochemistry's Expanding Universe. The awarding of the 1999 Nobel Prize in Chemistry to Ahmed Zewail for his studies of the transition states of chemical reactions using femtosecond spectroscopy was a global recognition of a monumental achievement. It celebrated not just the ingenuity behind the techniques, but, more importantly, the new window it opened onto the fundamental workings of the chemical world. Zewail had effectively given chemists the ability to watch molecular transformations with unprecedented clarity, turning abstract concepts into observable realities. This was more than just a new tool. It was a new way of seeing, a new way of thinking about chemistry itself, and its impact continues to ripple outwards. The legacy of femtochemistry extends far beyond the initial studies of simple gas-phase reactions. The principles and techniques pioneered by Zewail and his contemporaries have been adapted and expanded to investigate an astonishingly broad range of phenomena. Scientists now use femtosecond lasers to study complex processes in liquids, at surfaces, and in biological systems. Imagine tracking the initial steps of photosynthesis, where light energy is captured and converted with incredible speed and efficiency, or observing how a drug molecule docks with its target protein. These are the kinds of intricate molecular events that femtoscience is now helping to unravel, with profound implications for medicine, materials science, and energy research. A spark of genius. Introducing Dr. Ahmed Zewail, a mind was born. In Egypt, Dr. Ahmed Zewail, a name to remember. Curiosity sparked within him brightly. He looked at the world, full of questions. Why do things change? How do they work? These were his early thoughts, deep thoughts, a seed of science planted young, growing stronger day by day. What is a femtosecond? Imagine time sliced incredibly thin, thinner than you can grasp. A femtosecond is 1/1,000,000th of 1/1,000,000th of a second. Think of a second, now divide it by 1,000 trillion. That is the time scale of femtochemistry. Atoms move this fast. Chemical bonds form and break in these fleeting moments. The universe acts. Dr. Zewail dared to explore this almost unimaginable realm. He wanted to see the unseen, the ultra-rapid. Why study this incredibly fast world? Because chemistry happens there, life happens there. Reactions that create medicines or new materials, processes that power our sun or our bodies, they all unfold at the femtosecond scale, unseen. Before Zewail, we only saw the start and the end, the before and after of a chemical reaction. The middle was a mystery, a black box. He wanted to open that box, to illuminate the process. Dr. Zewail's breakthrough was revolutionary, pure genius. Femtochemistry changed chemistry forever, profoundly. It was like Galileo's telescope for the molecular world. Suddenly we could see with incredible clarity. What was once just theory became observable fact. This new vision deepened our understanding of everything, from the simplest reactions to complex biological systems. It provided a fundamental insight into how matter transforms. A new language was born to describe these rapid events. The field of chemistry was reborn, more vibrant than ever. Consider medicine. Femtochemistry plays a vital role understanding how drugs interact with proteins in our body. This happens at the femtosecond scale, molecules binding. Zewail's work helps design better drugs, more effective drugs with fewer side effects, tailored to specific targets. It helps us understand diseases at their molecular roots, how DNA gets damaged, how enzymes function or malfunction. This knowledge paves the way for new therapies, new cures. Section 4. The power of collaboration, Zewail's teams. Science is rarely a solo flight, it is a symphony. Dr. Zewail understood this deeply. He was a conductor. He built and nurtured exceptional research teams at Caltech and beyond, creating a global network. He knew that great discoveries emerge from many minds working together, sharing ideas, and challenging each other. His laboratories were vibrant places, full of energy, bright young people, and seasoned colleagues. Together, they pushed the boundaries of the known. His students and postdoctoral researchers were key. They came from all over the world, drawn by his vision, eager to learn, to contribute, to explore. He mentored them, guided them, inspired them. They brought fresh perspectives, new energy, and tireless effort. Many long hours were spent in the labs, fine-tuning lasers, analyzing data, and debating results. These young scientists were the lifeblood of his research engine. Many went on to become leaders in their own right. Collaboration extended far beyond his immediate group. Section 5. A legacy that endures, inspiring future scientists. Dr. Ahmed Zewail left us a profound gift. More than just scientific papers or a Nobel medal, he gave us new knowledge, a new way to see the universe. But he also gave us inspiration, a shining example. His life story shows us the power of curiosity, the importance of perseverance, and the reach of a dream. He showed that one person can indeed change the world, can open up entirely new fields for humanity to explore. His legacy is a torch passed to future generations. For young scientists everywhere, his message resonates, especially for those in developing nations. He was one of them. He showed that your origins do not define your destiny. Dream big, work with passion, pursue your questions. The universe is full of wonders waiting to be discovered. Science needs your voice, your perspective, your talent. Dr. Zewail broke barriers and built bridges. He believed in the potential within every young mind. His life is a testament to that belief. The Zewail City of Science and Technology in Egypt stands as a monument to his enduring vision, a beacon of learning, a hub for innovation.